India's largest airline, IndiGo, which recently faced an unprecedented operational challenge. The airline suffered a massive system outage that caused severe disruption in services, including a breakdown in its airport check-in and flight management processes. This technical glitch resulted in widespread chaos across airports in the country, with passengers expressing frustration over delayed flights, long queues and poor service. The outage affected operations across major airports including Bengaluru, Chennai, Delhi and Hyderabad, among others. Thousands of passengers were stuck in long queues as check-ins slowed to a crawl and boarding kept getting delayed. Passengers took to social media to express their disappointment and frustration, many complaining about standing in long queues for hours with little to no communication from the airline staff. Others called out the airline for its perceived lack of preparedness and failure to handle the crisis efficiently. Some even described the scene as a crowded supermarket and railway station. The scale of the issue led to the topic trending on social media platform X, where people recounted their harrowing experiences. After this outage happened, IndiGo acknowledged the issue almost an hour later, calling it a system slowdown, and assured the public that its team was working to resolve the problem. However, the scale of the disruption led to such delays, with some flights being delayed by up to 2 hours and more than 350 flights being affected. Among the voices calling for introspection was ace investor Vijay Kedia, who expressed his concerns over IndiGo's recent trajectory. Kedia stated that the airline's arrogance could lead to its downfall. He highlighted the need for IndiGo to stay grounded and not take its market dominance for granted, pointing out that the company's attitude towards customer service was a critical area of concern. Following the system outage, IndiGo worked to restore normalcy to its operations, and the airline issued an official statement apologizing for the inconvenience caused and reassured passengers that measures were being taken to prevent such incidents in the future. While flight operations gradually returned to normalcy, IndiGo's on-time performance plummeted to just 54% on Sunday, the 5th of October, as a systems outage left passengers enduring lengthy delays at airports. Earlier, between the 1st and the 4th of October, the airline's on-time performance was somewhere between 74.9 to 80.3%, according to the Ministry of Civil Aviation's data. Santosh Desai continues to be with us. Santosh, talk to us. IndiGo, right now, the aviation market in India has become, for all practical purposes, a duopoly, with IndiGo as the dominant player. And we're seeing issues after issues, from wrong rostering of a pilot, which led to people being stuck in an aircraft for 5 hours without being taken off, without a takeoff, to so many more issues that seem to be erupting with IndiGo consistently. And looks like, I'm not sure if IndiGo is doing enough, considering the fact that they know that they are the dominant market leader.
I think that's exactly the issue that I think is plaguing IndiGo right now. I think the fact that they have such dominant share of the market, and the fact that they are, they have grown rapidly. I think there is a stress on their systems. You can see that, they haven't really been able to absorb this kind of a growth. And B, I think what you see is, I think more importantly, from a customer perspective, is this insensitivity and again, the fact that there doesn't seem to be enough of an effort that is visible to customers about them trying to get it right. When things go wrong, and things will go wrong in the airline business, it is impossible for things not to go wrong. But in any service business, that will happen. But the important thing is, how do you deal with that? And I think in the last few months, and in fact, maybe a couple of years, IndiGo's response has almost always been unsatisfactory. There seems to be this, the feeling that they generate is the fact that they're beginning to take their leadership for granted. They're taking customers, again, they're not thinking too much about customer convenience. And when things go wrong, they do not have a way of communicating that is in the least bit reassuring. So I think it is, at one level, it's a product issue, but it gets compounded by the fact that there is a service issue, there is a communication issue in particular, which makes things much, much worse. When you are on a flight, even if things are going wrong, you want to know how things are, you want to be informed up ahead, in advance if possible, and that they just fail at that. And I think that you can see from a time then when it was such an admired brand, it was one of those really remarkable success stories in India. Over the years, gradually, as their market leadership has grown, their brand position has worsened. It's strange that you are seeing the two move in opposite directions.
All right, just one other question. Santosh, quickly, you've seen so many aircraft being grounded off IndiGo as well, from Pratt & Whitney engine issues to others. Is it now a problem of, the demand being too much and not enough supply of aircraft?
Yeah, I mean, it could well be that. I'm not an aviation expert, so I don't really have a view on that. But it does look from the outside, it feels like you're growing too fast. You have, a market share is dominant, and you can't deal with, the kind of demand that exists for, and as a result, you don't care. That is
Okay.
the picture that emerges to the outside, is that you are struggling, but instead of, in fact, trying harder, you have kind of slackened your efforts to create an environment
Okay.
for customers that is conducive.